All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. A nice, cold, chilly day here in Central Florida. Glad to be with you. It's January 30th, 2024. Ready to rock here on the YouTube channel. Morning Note. Always fun talking to you guys every morning. Make sure to like and subscribe these videos. Really would appreciate it. The road is to 10,000 subs. We're at 8609 or so. All right, let's get to work. I know we got a question already, so let's go and answer it rather quickly. All right, we also got the pre-market movers scrolling at the bottom. Here we go, Grupo Avitrade. I'm going to mispronounce that. My bad, buddy. Good morning, Carlos. Awesome work. Thank you. Thoughts on Apple earnings? Do you think they beat? Ooh. Okay, so Apple calls I have currently, and we rejected and we pulled back. So tough one. So far, it's a tough hold. I'm down about 60% or something like that. Let's go to the daily to take a look at it. And the reason I'm going with the actual technicals at this point is to give ourselves a little bit of a roadmap and some context. So we had the break above 196 and it pulled back $5. We're looking for the 200 level. So higher. Why? Bounced off the 50-day. That's a really good sign. That's at 190.62, which is where we pretty much are at the moment. So this morning, we will see where we get. In the morning, at 10 a.m., this stock fell very, very sharply. I was worried that we were going to tap the 188 level. So the reason I'm saying that this is important in a technical basis is look how we closed. Above the 50, but above this yellow line. This is the neckline of the inverse head and shoulders possibly being set up. You can see your left shoulder, your head, and your right shoulder. If we can hold up and at least get back to the 195 zone, on a technical basis, not knowing the earnings. I'm sorry, I don't have inside info on Apple. I wish I did, guys. I'd give it all to you. I promise. And even if I did know if they were going to beat or whatever, remember, guys, it's the reaction. I can give you two examples. Here's the two examples of two different stocks. Granted, both beat on the top and bottom line, beat on earnings, and their guidance was a little weaker than expected. They missed. This is SoFi. This is their earnings. Again, beating the top and bottom line, but missed on guidance. Sore job, no problem. Intel. Same exact setup, same exact deal, and Intel was a more bullish setup than it was on SoFi. SoFi is just chopping. Intel looked like it was set up for more. I'm going back and forth to show you that it really doesn't make a difference. It's just the reaction. There's no such thing as good news or bad news. For the most part, guys, it's just news and how we react to it. To some people, the sun rising today, they would probably weep. You know, oh my God, it's another blessing, beautiful day. And again, the context there would be, for example, you know, one of his family members is dying. But then another perspective, the same sun rising, the other person looks at it and says, oh my God, another day of depression or pain or suffering. It's the same sunrise, but it's two different perspectives. So at the end of the day, guys, in terms of the stock market, it's all just perspectives going back at each other, whether it's an algo perspective or a human perspective. Fund manager, hedge fund manager, retirement planner, regular investor, day trader, options. Again, everyone's seeing the same info, but taking different perspectives and different approaches out of it. You know, there's never a price too high for a bear or a bull. You know, never price too low for a bear either. I guess never price too high for a bull, never price too low for a bear. So the reason I'm saying that is because Apple, we have no idea. I don't know exactly what the earnings may be. The reaction I'm expecting is that if we hold up 191, where we are currently, hold that 50-day, we can set up that right shoulder and then go higher above 200. A measured move, if we get that inverse head and shoulders on the daily, would be around 210. Now, do I think we're going to get to 210 on Friday? No. But again, over time, again, that's something that we're going to watch. 198 is your breakout level. 198.23, that's the previous all-time highs. We wicked it at 199.62. We'll see what we get. So that's really the deal on Apple. I didn't go around the horn this morning because all the questions are coming up. So let's just keep the questions and answers going. You guys can see the screen. If anything, you got some pre-market movers. Let's just get to it. Abby, I'm going to say Abheath. I'm going to mispronounce that. Tesla thoughts. Okay. 3-day rule is done. 3-day rule, like we talked about, was in effect. What is the 3-day rule? After big news or big earnings, if you're an investor, Wait 3 days and see what your decision is going to be. If you liked it this day, you'll more than likely still like it in the third day. Price be kind of being constant or around the same zone. Our target of 180 was absolutely hit. All goes well, right? Well, now we're creating a base of support. If we went to go ahead and buy Tesla today, we missed out on about $15 a share of um, of savings. Let's just say we could have done that, but that's okay. $15 for confirmation that we're going to go higher and the worst is over sounds pretty good. And really, all it is, guys, is just one big channel. You see it? The yellow line, yellow line. 180 was that target, that zone. We pretty much hit it. Really, the next target I expect on Tesla, yes, is 263. And I want to play calls very soon on Tesla. It's above the one, it's at 195. It's above my mark here of 192.91. And I want to play this gap fill here to 206.54. So we can play 200s to 205s, maybe the 210s if we really, really want to get a little wild with it, buying some time. Watch the options chain today, but keep in mind, earnings are done. So we have that risk off already out of the table. GM reported a good quarter. They're up pre-market, and Ford as well. So the car makers are up on those earnings from GM. Now the question is the bottom in? I think it does, and I think it is right at 180. That was pretty much the level we wanted to get. 3-day rule is done. So let's give it the day. See if we can start nibbling a little bit on Tesla. Maybe we could do a swing trade for my investment club guys. We had Shopify that we bought as well in terms of the investment club signal. See if I can get it. I think it was here we go, July. Shop buy signal. This is the 12th of July, 65.21. The TP is 84.31. That was a 29% upside. So for anyone who's watching Investment Club, if you want to take your profits on Shop in terms of the stock, I mean, you're about $1 away. That's the gap fill right there, right? You see it? That's really what we were waiting for. We're pretty much almost there. I do have some options open as well. I'm going to cash those in once we get that move. But again, for those who did the Shop swing for Investment Club, you can use those profits that you made if you wanted to, and you can swing Tesla if you wanted to. And if not, that's fine. You can always skip. Majority of Investment Club guys that have been with us really since around 2018, I think that's when Investment Club was established for everybody. Tesla's been part of the portfolio anyways. AMD, the main guys, we've been in them. So it's nothing that, we're a little like, oh, this is new. I mean, we've gone through stock splits, sword jobs, pullbacks, you name it, as investors. So, but again, this would just be an additional opportunity, squeeze a little bit more. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to be too upset about adding a little bit more of Tesla here. Again, don't go all in. Understand that this stock is very volatile, but in terms of technical basis, yeah, I see us getting back to around the 260 area, and then we can just sell some of the stock that we bought for that swing. You're talking about maybe 29% upside, kind of like how we did with Shop. And mind you, guys, this is January. We did that in July. So you got to be patient when it comes to Investment Club if you're trying to swing trade. Most of the members told me that they were getting kind of bored of just buying and holding. They wanted a little more signals like this, these swing signals. You can see where we got in was at 65.21 on Shop. That's when I sent the signal out. So either way, if guys are interested, make sure to go to our site and take a look. Good morning, Scotty. Reversal coming in on Apple. Yeah, like I spoke about the inverse head and shoulder setup. Again, we're right at the 50. The idea is that we just have to hold that level. Now we're breaking down below it, but we got that yesterday. So we had some selling pressure initially at 9:45 to around 10 in the morning to 10:30 or so. Kind of like that first hour of trading. We had a big wick down to 189.59, and then it got bought up. So that 50 days seems to be that kind of support there. The question remains, do we form that right shoulder? Kind of the script, if that was the case, we'd be getting around 195. Maybe the Fed gets us there tomorrow. Could be. Maybe they have a dovish Fed and we bounce a little bit, and then we kind of just chop around. What I'm trying to do with the calls is to get above 195. Give it the day, see how it goes, give it with the Fed, and then ahead of earnings, we'll play it safe. We'll close it more than likely probably flat if that's the case, unless we get a huge move. And then let the runners do the job, and we can wait on that. We did the same with Tesla for Masterclass, and that thing that thing collapsed the way we expected. So, it's just a waiting game at this moment. Apple is underperforming. That could just be jitters ahead of earnings. It's a bellwether. It's one of the largest holdings in the S&P. I don't know if Microsoft has dethroned it, but and Microsoft reports today. So if Microsoft reports I assume a great quarter, let's just say they do, does it affect Apple so much? I mean, it's a technology company. I would assume that Apple would bounce in sympathy. And if Microsoft inversely fell and they had a horrible call, for example, more than likely Apple would be affected as well, since they are in the same sector. So again, it's going to be a waiting game on Apple. I mean, probably one of the most important earnings in a while for them. I think their earnings are important every quarter, but again, it's kind of the barometer right now in terms of the S&P. If Apple's not doing well, people assume the stock market's not doing well. Very similar to, U.S. Steel back in the days, where everyone said, or GM, what's good for GM is good for America. That was the slogan. What do I think about NKLA, which is Nikola? It's a penny stock. So think of this as a slot machine / lotto, if that's what you're trying to do. Would I touch this stock? No. I mean, if you're just pure gambling, I think there's better options out there than literally a penny stock. And in terms of the company itself, do I have any opinion on them? I think the price tells you all you need to know. Good companies don't trade this. Kind of like the pink sheets of the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, Aerotine, an up and coming cutting edge technology company. Aerotine does not exist, guys. It's just the movie. I'm getting the Nikola vibes there. So no thanks. But if you want to lotto it and you just want to do some technical analysis on a penny stock, I mean, stranger things have happened. Listen, man, if you can at least get to $1, I think you're in the right place, I guess, in terms of at least somewhat momentum. But I just think there's better options out there. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. What studies or patterns do you implement on Thinkorswim? In terms of patterns, I mean, I always say the same thing. The best indicator is your eyes. But in terms of like technical analysis, I mean, you have to look at the trend lines. You got to look at RSIs. I mean, you have so many tools out there that you can use, and you're really just creating biases in your mind. Ain't that the truth, right? We all have our own biases. So, head and shoulders patterns are fine. Reversal candles. I mean, you hit some, you lose some. It's kind of like that. That's how I see it. But if we see like the inverse head and shoulders pattern on Apple, for example, gaps on daily charts, price gaps, which are imbalances of prices, usually after big news or earnings, we like to play those as well. Can you talk about Mara? Yep. So Mara yesterday, I told everyone, hey, if you want to get out, I wanted to squeeze as much as I could. It got to 35%, and then it got to 41% here at 1973. The Bitcoin analysis that we had over the weekend, if you watch the video, was pretty much on point. We got to 44K. It's just pulling back now, but we got to 44K overnight. And again, that's what I was expecting. Now with Mara, if you still have it, I do. It expires in 2 weeks. And I really want to take advantage of this breakout here above 18, really. That's really what I was looking for. So as we get Bitcoin coming along above 44K, I do believe that Mara will be a beneficiary. Obviously, it's a proxy, and get me to 2085. That's really what I'm looking for on Mara. 2085 gets you back to about 3 Wednesdays ago support. That's really it. And we got 2 weeks to get there. So again, if you have it with me, that's fine. So hold that thing because I still love it. And I know we're getting some weakness pre-market. Thing was up 3%. It's just how it goes. But if you closed it, totally cool too. I'm glad you did. Listen, man, the idea is just to give you guys options. That's the most important thing. Let you guys make the decisions, and you have the control of what you want to do. If you want to hold it for the moon. And if you want to take it early, that's fine too. Whatever works for you. Everyone's different. How do you find these support and resistance for Mara? Well, there's no way to find it, but you have to stretch out your period in terms of what time period that you're looking for. And you can see here, this is one point of resistance back in August, which lines up the resistance in July. This is all right here. How do you set up support and resistance is all screen time, guys. That's actually putting in the time every single day practicing. It's kind of like asking someone who plays basketball, how do you make so many free throws? You practice. just like anything else. Trading is an acquired skill. You're not born knowing anything. You're not born knowing how to walk. So when you put the time on the screen and you're doing your 30 minutes a day, think of it as the gym. The more you lift, the stronger you get. The more you chart, the better you get. Same deal. So really, if you put any blank chart, the way I see things, doing this for over 10 years, you have the lines already in your mind. It's kind of like seeing the Matrix in a weird way. You start figuring out levels of support and resistance. You're already catching breakouts, breakdowns, momentum. It's just like giving a piano player a piano. He just starts playing. You don't need a sheet of music because he's been doing it so long. So there's no real magic formula in terms of support and resistance. You're trying to find the highest previous point versus relative to the current point, and that's what resistance is. And the lowest point current to where we are now, for example, that would be your support. But again, that's very dependent on the time, very dependent on the time frame. Some people say, hey, there's a resistance level on the minute chart. Yeah, that's a bit much. When it comes to major support and resistance, stick to the hourly and stick to the daily. The weekly is important with moving averages, sure, but I think the daily and the hourly is probably your best bet. That's basically what you're setting up. I know there's a ton of lines here, but it's a volatile stock. It's just what it is. I mean, Mara is volatile, up 3% and then down 4% within the blink of an eye. But it has been very good to us. It has been very good to us in 2023, and we've been doing well with it. So we just keep it moving. I mean, we've been riding the Bitcoin boost. That's what Mara's done for us. How do I join Investment Club? I don't see on your site. I have to go on the website to take a look at that. My apologies, Chastain. If you can, just email garcapital@gmail.com and we'll get you the link set up. I'm waiting on the last 2 weeks for the full pullback to load up on Tesla call. Yeah, I mean, right? We're all waiting for that pullback, right? We're all saying to ourselves, man, what's it going to take for this market to pull back, right? That's kind of the deal. Like, okay, guys, we're stretched, but you know what? The market doesn't care what's overbought or oversold. It's just indicators to confirm our bias. The market's going to move regardless of what you think, or what you know. It doesn't matter. It's just going to do its own thing, and that's kind of the great equalizer. Everyone thinks they have edge. Even insider information doesn't always hit. Remember those those reports of Zuckerberg selling shares like crazy, Bezos selling shares? You would think, ooh, that's an insider. They're selling shares. Something's happening, and it soars. Remember when Walmart was selling, the Walton family was selling a ton of shares of Walmart? Oh, here comes Walmart. They're going to tank. And it soared to all-time highs. The reason they were selling was to buy the Denver Broncos. But, news travels fast and people get nervous. Reed Hastings from Netflix, he just sold $1 billion worth of shares. I mean, does he think that the market's going to pull back? Does he think that Netflix is going to pull back? Or maybe he just wants to buy a yacht? I mean, it depends. It really depends on the person. I say live it up, Reed Hastings. You deserve it. You created Netflix, so you should enjoy your yacht. Leaps, I mean. Yeah, again, with doing leaps, you're paying rent. Every day you're holding that. And that rent is your premiums. So it's better to get closer to the event rather than wait and keep paying rent every day. You get what I'm saying? If you plan on paying rent every day, let's just say, premiums, and it's over 6 months to a year. And I'm saying that because I had Amazon puts as a hedge, and that thing just kept bleeding. Ask Masterclass, they know. And it was a year from now, and we're like, forget it. It's never going to go. It's not going to go down. It's going to keep going higher. If you think you're very bullish long term, just buy shares. So much easier than buying calls because they're so expensive. When you do the call premiums for like a year from now or two, for that, just buy the shares. You're better off. And then you're not prone to all the swings. You're not prone to the theta and all that jazz. You're just sitting back and relaxing. So, and just waiting. That's kind of how Investment Club, that's how I do the swing trading for them. Because buying and holding is too boring for them. And that's fair. I get it. So it's just whatever you guys want. I mean, if you guys want more Forex, we can do more Forex. Guys, at the end of the day, it turns into the same thing. If you can read one chart, you can read them all in a weird way. And you just kind of focus on what works for you and what you like. And the idea is just to give you options. If you like, trading options, you like trading futures, you want to just do buy and hold, you want to swing trade or Forex, whatever you want. It's really up to the person. The idea is to kind of get the basics down, which is the charting, the momentum, your habits of reading and researching, and the consistency. It's all about consistency at the end of the day. If you just do this for a week and you're all in and then you get disappointed, you don't do it anymore, and you wonder why your trading is so bad, that's why. That's why. Well, enough about me in that regard. We're going to go around the horn rather quickly. Dow's down 77, NASDAQ down 56, S&P down 11, and the Russell's down 0.55%. Yields are down, the dollar's down, and the VIX is slightly up. Interesting, VIX was up yesterday. So getting a pullback here, guys. We got JOLTS jobs openings at 10 a.m. We're going to keep an eye on that. Again, any kind of news headlines, make sure to get on the live market blog. For those who have asked about, oh, do you guys have a free trial? I got that question a lot, a free trial. Oh, is there any way I can kind of see how Gar Capital does their thing? Live market blog. I got a DM yesterday from one of our premium members, and he told me that he was having a child, that he wanted to, have to cancel the service. First, I said, congratulations on your child. I mean, who cares about trading options when you're about to have a bundle of joy in the world? And that's totally fine. He said he loves the server, and I said, make sure to stay in the blog. That's free forever. So again, if somebody just kind of wants to see kind of a, hey man, what are they about? We put a lot of info on the blog, guys. It is free forever. That's our way to give you all the information you need. So, for example, UPS cutting 12,000 jobs was up there. But here is the economic calendar. We have the consumer confidence number at 10 a.m. and the JOLTS jobs opening. So another consumer confidence survey. So there you go. All that news will be on Twitter as well, if you guys are still using Twitter or X. But again, if you want a place that's centralized to all the information that matters to you in terms of trading, analysis, real-time updates, the blog, just go to the website and choose free plan. We hope to see you there. We'll go and leave it there, guys. Have a great rest of your morning, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. Cheers all.